You know, nothing that you can do in the last 2 weeks before a race is going to make you faster in the race.
You're kidding,
Why do I
right?
say that? Let's take a look at a live stream that I did on fitness, freshness, and taper, and how to hit your peak performance on race day. Stay right here because I'm going to bring you some really great information. Do you want to know how fitness, freshness, and taper fit into your training to equal peak performance on race day? Some of the things that you have to think about that a lot of people don't along the way is your mental freshness, your physical freshness, your fitness, and how everything times out with your GI and with your mental effect. Let's take a look over here. I got a graph behind me, and this is showing you some of the things that you need to think about when you're looking at getting ready for the race. How I work my scheduling is I work through periodization. If you look there at the top, you're going to see where you're going to go through a period of base training, a period of build training, period of focus training, to bring you to your race day with the best possible chance of really, really good results. How I relate this is in the base training, I talk about the Statue of Liberty. When you look at the Statue of Liberty, you see this beautiful statue in the middle of New York Harbor, and it stays up there no matter what, because number one, it's got a base. It's got a fort that it was built on. That is the foundation. It is wide. It is strong. And what we're going to try to do in the first period of training is you're going to try to go wide on your base. And then you're going to go on to your build section. This I relate to the Statue of Liberty is the base, the brick base that was built below the statue that was on top of the fort that really builds up and holds that statue up high so that you can see it off in the distance. Then with the focus is you're going to be the statue itself. The focus is designed to bring focus on areas that you need help that you learned during the base to build, to focus on race specific areas that you need help. Building that way, you're going to come into your race day using that periodization and be ready to go. What is going to happen is you're going to sign up and you're ready to go. You are ready to really hit this thing and you're going to hit it too hard. Your freshness level is up here off the chart, up above, and you're as fresh as you could possibly be at any time in your training. That's it. Your mental freshness, your physical freshness, you are not worn out, you are not physically beaten up at all. But flip side, your fitness level is going to be down here at the bottom. You're going to be at the lowest level of fitness. What you're going to do at this point is instead of jumping into your training as hard as you possibly can, you're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to plan. You need to plan all your training. This is where you start your nutrition. You don't start your nutrition planning out here. By this point out here, your nutrition should be totally, completely ready to go. You need to not only train for swim, bike, and run, you need to train your gut. By the time you hit race day over here, your nutrition is dead on the nose. If you're getting value from this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Just drop below. It's really easy. It's right there. Just drop below. Hit me a thumbs up, and that'll help YouTube know to push this out to more and more people. And as you start your base training here, your fitness is going to slowly increase, and that's what you want. You don't want to try to jump in too hard. You're going to start your first 3 weeks or so of a very steady base where you're going to build gradually through those few weeks, but that's also going to take your freshness level, and your freshness level is going to tank pretty quick right off the bat. How do we keep our freshness level from really tanking off? That's where we come in with our recovery weeks and our recovery days. Guys, you can't train 7 days a week, 16 weeks into a half Ironman or 26 weeks into an Ironman. You just can't do it. Your body's not going to be able to recover and to take these stresses that you're putting on the muscles and create more muscle and adapt to the stresses that you've put on your body. So we're going to have a recovery week. Now, the recovery week is not going to hurt you in your fitness because it's not a shut it off, sit down and eat bonbons and watch television. You're still going to be doing workouts, but it's going to be considerably less. The workouts are light, the long workouts drop off, and you're going to see an increase in your freshness during those weeks. We're going to have in the periodization, each period is going to have a recovery week. Each week is going to have a recovery day. If you look at this, you're going to see where your freshness is going to be dropping off and your fitness is going to be going up. And what's going to happen here is at one point, somewhere in this training, you're going to have a point where your fitness and your freshness match. That's what we're going for on race day. This is a good place to put your B race. This will get you an idea of where you are in your training when your freshness and your fitness are passing. This is where it kind of gets interesting, because as your fitness is increasing in your build section and in the beginning of your focus section, as your fitness is going up, so is the level of your workouts. Your length of time in your training is going to be going up, which of course is going to take your freshness level and just start to tank that. So you're going to get your fitness is going up, your freshness is going down, and you hit the mental wall. Every single 70.3 racer, every single Ironman racer that I've worked with hits this mental wall somewhere between the end of the build and the focus section. And this is something that you have to push through. Your family issues, you're going to have work issues, you're going to be tired, you're going to be hungry. If you know it's coming, then you'll be able to get by it much easier. As you go into your focus, at this point here also, you should have your nutrition down like clockwork. And in the focus section, again, now we're going to focus. We're going to set our nutrition to have a schedule. And by the time we hit taper time, we should not ever question what we're going to do for nutrition in the race. When we hit the last few weeks, you're going to be doing your biggest workouts here in these last 2 weeks prior to your taper. When you hit taper time, it does not mean stop. It means taper. You're going to reduce the length of your workouts, and you're going to reduce the distance of your workouts. You're going to see the intensity of your workouts drop, but you're going to do that gradually, and you're also going to take more rest days than you would during your build or your focus. What's going to happen? You're going to hit the point where you have the greatest fitness you can have. This is where I see so many people go, I don't think I trained well enough. I can barely get through my long ride. How am I going to throw a 13.1 on the back of that? How am I going to swim 1.2 miles prior to the bike that I just can't make it now anyway? And the problem is, this is where the mental clarity has to come in. You're going to be tired and you're not going to be thinking about this, but this is where your freshness is going to be, folks. Your freshness is going to be as tanked as it possibly can be. You're right. At that point, you might be physically fit enough to do it, but you couldn't at this point right here, 2 weeks before the race. You should not be able to take and go hog wild into that last weekend as hard as you can go, and then be able to knock off the best half Ironman distance race that you possibly can. It just shouldn't happen, because your fitness is high as it's going to get. Notice I have it off the chart. You're going to be higher in fitness at that point than any other time, but your freshness is going to be down here. That's the problem. This is why you can't do it, why your mind is going to say you can't do it, because you're going to be totally and completely worn out. That's when taper kicks in. What taper's goal is to hold your fitness as close to peak as you possibly can. Yeah, if you take a 2-week taper, you're going to start to drop off. Anybody who does a 3-week taper, by the time you hit 3-week taper, your freshness is going to be off the chart, but your fitness is going to come down. You're going to hit a week before. You're going to hit your peak performance a week before the race. So our goal is to not have the fitness drop off too far, but to have your freshness come screaming up to the top and hit right here on race day. Now that you've matched your fitness, your freshness, and your taper and nailed your peak performance on race day, you need to know what to do on the nutrition side. So take a look at this video right here. This is Coach John. Boom.